Today, I'm going to be making the new Pillsbury Stuffed Cookie Kit. I'm going to be making both of them. We have a caramel-filled chocolate chip and a raspberry-filled chocolate. These were $2.98 at Walmart. Each of these kits require the same thing. You need 6 tablespoons of softened butter for each one, and you need 1 egg for each one. You also, I am using parchment paper. You want a cookie sheet. It's going to be ungreased, but I'm using the Reynolds Kitchen cookie baking sheets, and I just think that's easier because they're already to the size you need. So the first kit I'm going to get together is the caramel-filled chocolate chip. I'm going to open the box and see what comes inside. It should be 2 things. So yes, here is your cookie mix, and then you also get your caramel. And it says on there caramel. So you know for sure to set this aside. And we're just going to be dealing with the powder right now. So you do want to preheat your oven for 375, and that's good for both mixes. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine the cookie mix, softened butter, and egg in medium bowl. Mix until soft dough is formed. Now the directions say to form the dough into 10 large rounds placed onto ungreased baking sheet about 4 inches apart. So I have a cookie scoop. I'm going to try to see how many I can get out of here. If I can get 10. If I can't, then I'll take away from some and add to the others until I get my 10. Because I don't know how big, they don't tell you what size you're going for at all. So I have dough left and I have my 10 cookies. So I'm going to take some and add to some of these that I already have on my cookie sheet. I have to say, this is probably the stickiest dough I have ever worked with, ever. It is extremely, extremely sticky. I haven't experienced anything quite like this before. Assemble by using your thumb to press a hole in the center of the cookie dough. So, they did not tell you to grease your thumb, but I just know as soon as I stick my thumb in here, yeah, I'm telling you, this is the stickiest stuff I have ever worked with. So this will be interesting. With caramel filling provided. Squeeze the cookie dough shut to close the hole and cover the filling. So this is our caramel. I'm going to I'll just cut a corner off. It doesn't tell you to do that, but I'll do that and cut a corner off. And I'm going to squeeze some of this into the cookie. And then we're supposed to cover this up. Okay, now we want to try to pinch this dough together to cover that up. This is going to be the hard part because I don't know if that's going to happen. I'll tell you what I would have rather done rather than these directions. I would have rather put a certain amount on the cookie sheet of the dough and then kept part of the dough in a bowl and then added it to the top of this, rather than try to pull this together like I'm having to do. Because it just feels like it's more difficult this way. But you would think the people at Pillsbury, the Pillsbury kitchen, that they would have tried it out all different ways, and this must have been the way that they thought was best for some reason. At 375 for 14 to 16 minutes, or until the edges are set. Allow to cool for 2 minutes before removing from baking sheet. Okay, so I'm going to set my cookies for 15 minutes. We're going to go right in the middle, set them for 15 minutes. And as soon as I get these in the oven, we'll be back to start on the next mix. So now we're going to start on the raspberry and chocolate. So you're going to get the same things. You're going to get a package of your cookie dough, your mix, your powder. And then this does say raspberry on it. So we're going to set that to the side. And we're going to combine the powder with our butter and egg until our dough forms. We're going to do the exact same thing with this mix that we just did with the other one. Bowl, what I ended up doing was I used my hands. So I started out with the spoon, mixing it together, and then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to use my hands. And this mix, the chocolate mix, is not near as sticky as the chocolate chip mix. I don't know why, but it is not. So I did wash my cookie scoop, and I am going to use this, and I'll just make them more heaping this time, since I know that I had they were bigger cookies. And I'm going to make 10 again and put those on the baking sheet. Have some left, and you can see it's just this is not sticking to my fingers like that chocolate chip did. I don't know what the difference would be, but I'm gonna add some more of this leftover to some of these other ones to make them bigger. And then we're gonna do the same thing that we did with that one. We are going to we're gonna put a thumbprint down in the middle. We're going to cut open our raspberry and fill this up just like we did before, and then we're going to go back and cover it up. But I don't want to cover them up as I go, because if I have raspberry at the end, then I can go back through and I can add some more. If you're covering them up as you go, then you don't have the opportunity to fill them up anymore. I can tell you that when you are trying to flip this over, dealing with the jelly, the raspberry jelly, is very, very different from dealing with the caramel. The jelly wants to scoot and slide, and so it's much harder to cover up the jelly than it was to cover up the caramel. So these are going to cook for the same amount of time. As soon as my first mix comes out, I'm going to put these in for, it's 14 to 16 minutes. I'm going to put these in probably for another, for 15 minutes, just like I did the first set. Okay, I just took these out and put my second set in. I set it for 14 minutes because I took these out at 14 minutes. I started smelling them and it's like, oh, those smell like they're finished baking. And they were finished at 14 minutes. Another minute, they would have been way overdone. So I'm gonna let them sit here and cool and then we'll take them off the cookie sheet. So these have cooled off and they should come off of here really easily. And they are. That looks so good. And I'll go ahead and open this one up so we can see. It's very soft. And there is your caramel on the inside. I set my timer for 14 minutes for this one, and I ended up going a minute less. I left it for 13 minutes, and I think it looks really good. I would rather, especially with chocolate, I would rather go on the shorter side than the longer side. So I'm going to let these sit here for just a minute or two, and then we'll open one up for you to see. So we're going to open up one of the raspberries. These are much softer. Like I said, I let them cook for a shorter amount of time. And they look really good. This is how I like a cookie. Ooey gooey. But you can also see that line of raspberry in the center. Okay, this says 20 servings in the container. Oh, because you're only supposed to eat half a cookie.
Who wants half a cookie?
It's a filled cookie. Who's gonna eat half?
I want the bottom half.
A filled cookie.
I want the bottom half.
Asinine. That's just stupid.
I want the bottom half. You take the top half.
Yeah, really. That's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh my gosh. 120 for, I guess, for half. That is absolutely ridiculous. Okay.
That looked like it had some stuff in there.
And there's some, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely stuff in there because I put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
These baked for 14 minutes.
So what are these, the filling?
Caramel.
Do you taste caramel?
Not necessarily.
I don't get caramel. I ate a big hunk right out of the center of it. And it just tastes like a chocolate chip cookie to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't give you a lot. They do not give you a lot.
I like the chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
Like the cookie itself has a really nice taste. It's buttery. It has a really nice crunch on the bottom of it. It's nice and soft on the top. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's doing caramel.
I got caramel just now because I got a wad of it from the middle. And I got directly in that gooey.
Yeah, see, I tried them.
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, try it.
You should get a little bit of caramel from that. You're mainly tasting the chocolate chip though because you don't get a lot of caramel. I do have to say,
good cookie though.
I detest their packaged, the Pillsbury packaged cookies in these light blue containers. I think they're disgusting. They're absolutely just vile. And
Why don't you tell us what you really think?
They should not be bought. These, I was afraid, would have that same flavor, and they do not.
No, like I said, the cookie's actually pretty decent.
I don't like...
Well, they're not as good as some other ones, but I do like them.
How cumbersome it is to make these, but it turned out good in the end.
Yeah, I wasn't in here, so was it complicated? Was it rough getting them stuff?
It wasn't that it was complicated. The doughs are completely different. That dough was the literally the stickiest dough I've ever dealt with.
And you're having to press your thumb and stick
and they don't tell you to grease your thumb. So I've already washed my hands like 5 times. And then it's telling me to stick my thumb in it, and I'm thinking, I'm just gonna get dirty again. I'm just gonna, because then you have to go from sticking your thumb in it to putting the caramel in there. Mm-hmm. Well, you just may as well put your thumb in all of them and then do the caramel, which should make sense anyway.
I wonder if you could have sprayed a spoon or in something
It didn't say take a spoon.
No, I'm saying I wonder if you could have. Would that made it any better?
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know. This was just a very sticky deal. Honestly, at the end of the day, this tastes like a chocolate chip cookie.
It does. You're better off just buying chocolate chip
You're
cookies.
better off making chocolate chip cookies.
Actually, just look at the recipe on the bag of chocolate chips and make those.
I personally would not. I mean, they are. There's nothing wrong
Like
as
I
far
like the
as
cookie.
flavor. That has a decent flavor. It's just that it's not anything special, and you don't get enough caramel to make a difference.
Right, these
now
look
these,
like a lot of strawberry.
the raspberry.
I mean raspberry. Whatever the red stuff is.
The red stuff. It is raspberry filled cookies, and it's 120 calories again. They're only wanting you to eat half, which, I mean, who does
Did
that?
they give you more of this?
Oh, you did. It seemed like it went further because it's like a gel instead of that caramel. And these I baked for 1 minute less, so I wanted them to be soft.
Yeah.
It
seems like these are more filled, is why I was asking.
Yeah, this was easier. The dough was easier to deal with.
But
now, the raspberry jam stuff, it was harder to, once you got the jam in each cookie, it was harder to cover it up because it wanted to slip and slide everywhere because it is jam.
You definitely get the raspberry flavor in there, though. So I do like that. The chocolate's not what I'd call the best chocolate in the world, but I do like the raspberry flavor. It adds a lot of flavor to it.
And I like the texture much better.
Yeah. I almost wish they put the raspberry in the chocolate chip.
I know.
Because the chocolate's kind of blah, whereas the chocolate chip was really good. But I like the raspberry, and the caramel wasn't really much of anything. So
I don't mind the chocolate.
it's okay. It's kind of plain, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I just like the chocolate chip flavor better.
I don't mind the chocolate at all. The raspberry flavor is nice. I did not see any seeds when I was divvying it out, and I didn't get any seeds. So I'm very glad that they use like a seedless jam because I like that so much better. I do like the chocolate version. You need to like chocolate. You're going to have to like raspberry though too, because you're really going to taste it.
Out of the two, I would definitely pick the raspberry, the chocolate.
It just has a nice flavor.
It has a stronger flavor.
I personally would never make these again though.
Right.
It's just
too much trouble for what you get.
I think it's too much trouble. Yeah. And to know you're supposed to get 20 servings, I don't think they shouldn't have even put that on the box. That's just wrong.
Well, it's 20 servings of half.
Yeah, but you only make 10.
Yeah, you're only making 10.
Yeah, they're telling you to make 10. And then, like I said, who's going to split up a filled cookie? That's just, I don't know. For me, I cannot see these staying on the shelves for a long time because I do think once you bought them once and you've done it, you're going to realize this is just very cumbersome to do.
And this is not something you can do with your kids necessarily.
Well, it's not quick. It's not as quick
Right.
as just throwing something together, mix it up. It's not quick. You're having to do different things. I don't know. For me, it was more of a hassle. And so I would not recommend them just because I thought it was a pain.
Right.
But you'll have to make it, if you try them, you'll have to let me know what you thought. I think the flavors on both of them are good.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get much caramel flavor.
No, caramel's kind of light. I wouldn't have even known there were caramel there.
Yeah, you have to get a whole big wad of that caramel to really be able to taste it. But like I said, try them and see. They were in the baking aisle at Walmart. They weren't on a special display or anything like that. So you need to go down the baking aisle, at least at our Walmart, to be able to get them. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.